Hey guys, my name is Manish aka X Fader. Yesterday, I caught up with India's top hip hop DJ Sa at the I Love Music Academy. Make sure you check out the full interview and hit the subscribe button below to get more updates on the technical side of DJing, music production, and also about how to be a good performer. Hey bro, how are you?
I'm awesome. How you doing, brother?
So bro, first of all, tell us about your journey. How did it all start?
A long story short, I was in college and I actually saw a leaflet on the floor, not even handed over to me, and it says DJ Nasha's workstation, and I was pretty curious about DJing because I was always into music and I love music, and I have my whole family background is my family's come from a film production background. So my grandfather was a producer, and so they've always been in movies, and music's always been around me. So I was really curious about trying something new, and I hated studies. I still hate studies, so I don't really like books as such. Keeping that in mind, I'm very hyper. I was dyslexic, so studies was one thing that I was not at all interested in, and I wanted to do something different. So I said, just let's give it a try. And cutting it short, 17 years I'm just doing DJing because that's how it's stuck, and it's been a roller coaster ride. It's not been easy, so yeah.
Now, obviously, you must have started hearing hip hop and R&B at a very early age. Who were your favorites? What were your biggest influences?
One and only, man, it was Eminem. But back in the day, there used to be I don't know if it was in Delhi, but there were stores in Bombay called Planet M, and we used to get a lot of cassettes and stuff like that. And being in college, you didn't really have a lot of pocket money as such to buy a lot of CDs and stuff. So we used to go there and listen to them on the Walkmans or CDs that they have there. And I was really Eminem, just something in him just really connected with me, and the stuff that he said and spoke about, even though back in the day he was really funny with his lyrics and stuff like that, but he also had a serious side to it. So keeping that balance, that was something so different that I hadn't heard before. And once I heard Eminem, and that's it. Yeah, the hip hop story started.
And do you have a go-to track, like one track which you always know which will work, or one track which will never get old for you?
All the stuff from 2000s, man. 2000s era with R&B and hip hop it's still classic. I drop anything from like a Nelly to like a Fat Show or an Aaliyah, or anything from that era is still gets the crowd going and still goes like, oh man, I haven't heard that song in ages. So something from this 2000s era is definitely any of those songs are a go-to track for me. It's not really specific because it all depends on the crowd for me, and depending on what kind of crowd you have, like at any given point in the club, I'll try and drop that.
Same here, man. Same here. So something deeper now, bro. What do you think about the current club scene and the music scene? Where do you think it's heading? And especially after Gully Boy, everybody's jumping into hip hop. So what is your take on it?
For me, in a way, it's it has its pros and cons. For me, the pros is the fact that it's been accepted in a much wider audience. Meaning the more massy Bollywood crowd that didn't really know about or got into hip hop as such, have started listening to artists which they never used to before. Divine's really big, Nazy's really big, but they've also started listening to artists like Prabdeep, and then there's Dhaval, there's D-Evil, there's MC Altaf, and there's DMC. So there are quite a few of them that are really big and really doing their thing since a really long time, and way before Gully Boy as well. So the fact that they've got that attention is really good for the industry. That's the pros of it. The cons I would say is that for me, it's not really a con. It's just a sad part that a movie had to bring out something which was always there in the streets and always in the club, but was never accepted by the audience. And that's why I feel sad about that someone like a bigger star had to put it out there, and props to Ranveer for doing it. But I think India in general and the clubbing scene should be more accepting to newer sounds, and not just with hip hop, with any kind of music. And they should come with an open mind to a club, so that to let DJs play what they feel can be the next big thing.
Totally agree, bro. Totally agree. So, in terms of technology in DJing, now some artists think that technology has gone too far. I know you use Serato, so what are your comments on that?
I'm a very pro tech person, because I feel like it's not again, it depends on how you use the technology. For me, I feel when new technologies used, it's always good for creativity. It's the way you use it. Where I'll give you an example of phase where you don't really need the needle of the turntable. You can literally play your CDs or your through Serato with just that controller of that. So there's lots of new technology coming. It all depends on the DJ, on the artist, of how creative he can get with the technology, keeping in mind he doesn't lose the main essence of the fact that he's DJing and not using, I mean, sync. Yeah, there is a lot of debate about sync, but I also feel that in a way, if you and that's a big if you're using different modules, like you have your synthesizers, you have MIDI control, you have lots of instruments. If you're definitely playing live and you're using more than just one console to make music or create music on stage, it's definitely good to stay in touch with sync played in. But when it comes to just when you're playing two tracks, I feel like as a DJ, you should be more hands-on about it and not use sync.
And when did you start using Serato, may I ask?
Actually, since get-go. Since it came out, I was just getting off of CDs, and the minute it came out, I actually jumped on it, because, as I said, I was a very I'm very curious about new technology, and when I got to know about it, I actually played around with it, and the next thing you know, I completely removed all my CDs and I got them on digital format and I put them on Serato.
Nice, nice. Now, some people have this stereotype that for a DJ to be very successful, to take it to the next level, you need to become a music producer. Now you have totally broken this stereotype, because you're the busiest DJs in hip hop in the country. What do you think about that? And are you also looking to do some production in the near future?
To be very honest, I know basics of production. I just haven't gotten around to the fact that I want to sit and produce music. Because I always feel, and I still feel, I'm more of an entertainer and more of a artist when it comes to being a DJ than a producer. There are a lot of DJs who are one of the busiest artists in the world and they don't produce, because there's a big difference between a producer and a DJ. I mean, 2019, yes, the whole the whole hoo-ha about that you have to be a producer. Yes, I mean, there are a lot of pros about that, because you can do a lot more when you produce your own music and play it as well. And props to people who can. I'm one person who hasn't gotten around that. I'm not going to completely cut off the fact that I don't want to produce, but I just haven't gotten around the fact that I want to produce, because I'm so much into the creativity of actually being more in front of the stage and being more of an entertainer for the crowd than to be more at the producer level. So yeah, you don't really need to be a producer to be a good DJ, or vice versa. You can be a really good producer and be a good DJ, and you can also be a bad DJ and a really good producer as well. So there are two aspects about it. You need to figure out where you want to be more interested in. You can dabble both. It's all individual opinion, I feel.
And we were having that interesting chat about Serato Studios.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's what I've come across, and they've just they're still in beta right now, and I feel that they've done a brilliant job when it comes to making a new DAW, which is very similar with the layout of Serato. So it makes it very easy for someone who's trying to transition from being just a DJ to trying to dabble with production, because it's so much. It's so similar to the fact that it looks like Serato, and that they've made it easier for and very, very user friendly for someone who's trying to just start learning to how to produce. So I think that's brilliant, and I mean, they're gonna go on another level right now, and that's what I feel.
Nice. Something personal now, bro.
Yeah.
Now, our craft requires a lot of traveling, late nights, eating out. How do you cope with it, man, health-wise?
Health.
So, how do you cope with all of this, man, like health-wise and stuff?
Oh, so I think that plays a really big role, and I mean, yeah, everyone has their vices of smoking and drinking. I don't, and I feel like I'm very fortunate that I don't smoke or drink. But I also make sure that I am working out at least 5 days a week, and I try and put my health first. Because if I don't, I don't think I'll be still doing it after 17 years of still being a touring DJ, because it takes a massive toll on your body, especially with your body clock going all over the place in different time zones, and sleep patterns, and unhealthy eating, because you have obviously odd hours of getting up and waking up and sleeping back, and the stuff that we eat is not really healthy at that time of the hour. So I definitely feel that it's a very, very important aspect of being a touring DJ, or a producer, or any artist in general, a musician, because if you don't have a healthy body and a healthy mind, you're not really putting 100% in creativity, because you won't have that correct frame of mind to sit and be as creative as possible if you are not healthy in the mind.
Yeah. And apart from DJing, are you into any other art form? Anything which interests you currently?
I love cooking, if that's an art form. It's a very weird thing, but yeah, I love food, and not I'm not just saying because I'm a foodie or something, but I really like to dabble in something when it comes to cooking. So that's something that I want to do in the future as well. So yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do, man. I'll move to Goa and then
Yeah, man, more than happy.
Cook and I
Man.
can play.
Yeah, man, for sure. That sounds like a good idea.
Coming back to music now, bro. Now, to keep up with the music scene and hip hop, are there any music blogs you follow? Do you listen to any radio stations or magazines?
So I don't follow any magazines as such. I do check out I don't have any blogs as such. There are blogs like Run the Trap and stuff like that you occasionally go through to check out new articles and stuff. And then I get all my music, and I pay for my music. I use DJ City, so I use that and I get my music. I don't use free stuff. I used to do that because back in the day you didn't have DJ City. It's all like P2P, LimeWire, and all that jazz. So. I've gotten around the fact that you need to support artists who also make edits for you, and it helps really push them as well, because they do a lot for you. And I also occasionally go through BBC Radio, One Extra, and more importantly, I'm very what do you say? I always keep a track of what people are listening to, especially like even if it's on Instagram or something like that. I mean, social media plays a big role, even though you shouldn't entirely be dependent on that. But there are a lot of people where if you have like I will give you an example. If I have a certain crowd or audience that loves hip hop, I'll want to follow them to just know what kind of music they're listening to. And there are so many of my friends who actually listen to so much of hip hop that I haven't heard even now, that when they put up something, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll just check it out, just because she says it's hot, let's check it out. And I've actually found a lot of tracks that I hadn't listened to or haven't come across, but I've come across because of them. So do that's always one thing that you should always do. And mainly you should always go to clubs and see other DJs and see how they're playing, and you get the experience that you get, and you learn a lot from other DJs. You not just with technique, not with just the songs, but the way you play in general. So stuff like that. And radio also plays a big role, but not much in India, because India is not too much into hip hop as such. Yeah, they play top 40s, but like BBC and I also occasionally go through news, because news, especially like the Breakfast Club, and you learn a lot, not just about music, but in general about the industry. And if you're updated about the industry, you get to know what's coming up next, what's happening, what are the new trends. So stuff like that you should always be updated with.
Any advice to all the aspiring DJs?
Oh man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep practicing, just don't give up. Actually, it's one thing, because you always hit a roadblock sometime or the other, and you always want to give up. That just a little push, and just stay, and don't give up. Just push again, because there's always the light at the end of the tunnel, because that's one thing I've always lived by.
And lastly, my friend, tell everyone where they can find you online. Are there any specific dates which are coming up?
Yeah, man. My Instagram handle is official DJ Sa. Same with Facebook. And yeah, dates are always on social media. My next gig, even I have to check where my next gig is. But yeah, I think I'm coming back to Delhi, playing Toy Room, if I'm not mistaken, Toy Club, something like that. Yeah, so I'm going to be playing that next week, and then I go to Shillong. So if anyone's from Shillong or Northeast and want to check it out, Shillong on the 6th. That's where you'll find me.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, bro. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you again at I Love Music Academy. And you continue to inspire our students and other DJs. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. I
Thanks,
definitely
bro.
want to be back. Cheers, bro. Cut. What's up, guys? I just finished an amazing masterclass at I Love Music Academy. If you guys are in Delhi and if you want to learn more about audio engineering, music production, and DJing, please don't forget to come to I Love Music Academy. And don't forget to drop a comment down below, like, share, subscribe if you like this video. Cheers.